Now, in a week where Gary Stead and his holidays have been a bit of a major, we now have research from small business owners that tells us we don't get enough annual leave. A third of small business owners think it should be more. This is a Zero survey, by the way. 32% think that 4 weeks isn't enough, especially given one-third of full-time staff already report regularly working more than 40 hours a week. Now, the founder of Business Changing, Zac de Silva, is with us on this. Zac, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Are we seeing, do you think, a permanent shift in the way we view work and the amount of leave we want?
I think we're starting to see, obviously, the term flexibility come into place. You know, we know the classic perpetual guardian example that everyone knows about. Yeah, I mean, my view is flexibility is taking over more than actually, you know, needing more leave. I'm not actually for 6 weeks leave. I think flexibility is actually more important, and that will have a bigger impact on mental health for our teams, and that will actually help overall productivity in business.
I was going to say the 32% who think that 4 weeks isn't enough. That actually means the vast majority think that 4 weeks is enough. So maybe it isn't changing much. When you say flexibility, what do you mean? Yes, you do your 40 hours. Just do them when you want to.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think that, you know, a lot of the working day is actually taken up, well, a lot's exaggerating, but we're doing things that actually aren't that important. I think what I see with small businesses that I work with is that people actually just aren't focused, I guess, on doing their most important things. We all know the classic of Facebook and all this other stuff wasting time. And it's like, you know, your classic best employee arguably is like the part-time mum who's amazing at what she does. She's got certain hours she has to do. She gets everything done. So I think, you know, if you can get your job done, why can't you finish early? Why can't you start a bit later as long as you're not encroaching on other people? So I think the classic 9 to 5, I think, you know, that could be definitely going through a bit of a change in my opinion.
But when you say get your job done, there are so many jobs where the job isn't done. It will never be done. It just keeps on going, doesn't it? So when is your job done, and when do you feel good about going?
I mean, there are some jobs which make it challenging to have flexibility. Like, you know, if you work in a retail store, you've got to be open certain hours. Yeah. If you're in a call centre, if you're in a warehouse picking stock, whatever. So I think there are some jobs where flexibility is a bit more challenging. But you look at what Perpetual Guardian have done, and they've obviously paid everybody for 40 hours when they're only working 32, whether you're on customer service, sales, whatever. So all credit to them. But I do think, there's going to be certain jobs where flexibility is more obvious than other jobs, definitely. The
reason I ask the general, there seems a malaise in the workforce at the moment. See, in Seattle, they boosted the minimum wage. It was one of those states that boosted the minimum wage. And what they found was most people actually didn't earn more and didn't want to earn more. They chose to work less to earn the same. It sort of indicates to me that when given the opportunity, we just can't be fagged anymore.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, it is a mental thing, meaning that it's just something we accept, isn't it? 8:30 to 5:30 is an accepted thing, and I think many people in life probably aren't actually that driven. You know, you look at the average human. Most of us are just pretty happy with the lot that we have. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense with what happened in Seattle. But I think there will certainly be a proportion of people who would want to make more money, but most people are just comfy, and you know, for them that's a good thing, I guess. You know,
see, because what worries me about all of this, and maybe I'm hopelessly out of touch, not woke enough, and too old. But Gary Stead, see, at the elite level, I look at Gary Stead, the Black Caps coach. If you at the elite level aren't driven to succeed, to win, to just lay down and give your everything, then what hope do any of us have?
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I have to say I was very interested in what Gary Stead did. Obviously, certainly it's not something that I'd do or get my clients to do if they weren't winning. But I think, it really comes down to human psyche and are you driven or not, you know, and I suppose, you know, it'd be interesting to know what proportion of New Zealand was actually driven to do better, what proportion wasn't, and I guess the stats that will come out of that probably wouldn't surprise us.
Great insight. By the way, while I've got you, do you know what productivity is? The government are looking at our productivity, and our productivity, they argue, has never really been that flash, and it certainly hasn't improved. So they're looking at how to improve it. Do you know? Can you explain to me what productivity is, apart from just doing more stuff?
I mean, my classic view of productivity is, in, let's say, the 1950s, I think we were the third OECD country in terms of productivity. Obviously, that was the primary industry nirvana. New Zealand was amazing at dairy, you know, agriculture, whatever we were great at. And I think since then, we haven't necessarily moved with the times, meaning that we know that primary is still important to us, but obviously there's a lot of other industries that are important. And I think it's just, you look at us, we were world class in the 50s at primary, so that means we were really productive because we were leading the world. You look at what we do now, and primary is less important, still very important, but other things are important, but we're actually not the best in the world. So in my view, productivity is when you are the best in the world at doing something. It's not just about how fast you do it, but it's also even things like engagement in the workplace, being a good workplace, that actually helps productivity. So I think it's definitely output, but it's just actually being the best at what you do. And certainly we've got a long way to go in many industries at the moment.
Great insight, Zac. Well done. Appreciate your time very much. Zac de Silva, founder of Business Changing. It is 17 minutes away from 8.